Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Tesla stock had a good Friday. It was up about 2.5% in regular trading, up another 0.25% in after hours, even though the S&P declined 0.15% in regular trading and was down 0.14% in after hours. Tesla, there's no stopping it at this point. Let's just be honest. But here in this video, I will share with you the data and information you need to know in regards to Tesla. Short interest, how many shares were covered on Friday, the option activity, overall sentiment in Tesla, inventory levels, Google Trends data, how many ads Tesla is running on Google. All of these things I will share with you. But we also need to go over some Tesla stock news. Let's start with some news from the Tesla Asia X account that says that Tesla has exported the 1 millionth car from Giga Shanghai. It also looks like Tesla's V4 superchargers have been installed at Tesla's upcoming Hollywood diner. The diner has futuristic looking steel siding. GM has launched its online configurator for its all-electric Cadillac Escalade IQ. Production starts in 2 weeks with a starting price of $130,000, fully loaded at $171,000 with a range of 460 miles and a 215 kilowatt-hour battery. Tesla is also hosting a new referral contest where participants can earn a chance to attend their October 10th Robotaxi unveiling event by referring others to buy a Tesla. Each 2 complete referrals equals 1 entry, with a maximum of 5 entries allowed. The contest is limited to the US and only referrals made after August 24th count. Winners will be notified on October 3rd. And there appears to be more speculation of FSD launching in South Korea, just starting to really grow out there. It's also being reported the Tesla Model Y has surpassed the Nissan Leaf as Norway's best-selling EV of all time, as records tracked starting in 2011 show the all-electric crossover has finally worked past one of the first EVs offered. Construction of Tesla's upcoming Shanghai Megapack factory is now 60% complete just 4 months after construction started, a new record. Construction was 45% complete 1 month ago. Below is an official rendering of what the factory will look like when complete, with initial capacity of 10,000 units per year, about 40 gigawatt hours. New factory covers an area of 200,000 square meters and aims to export Megapacks to overseas markets, including the Asia-Pacific region, to support the global green future. And see how I shared with you Tesla's massive outperformance on Friday. I mean, the S&P was red and Tesla was up 2.5%. And after hours again, Tesla up another 0.25%. The S&P down 0.14% in after hours. The drop in after hours mainly has to do with news that the IDF confirms Hezbollah's chief Hassan Nasrallah was eliminated in a precision strike on the terror group's headquarters yesterday in Beirut. This is just growing some of those fears that this conflict could escalate into a larger problem. It's also being reported that Iran's leader has been moved to a safe place with increased security. And I think that's the real issue that markets may get nervous about. If you do see Iran's leader potentially targeted, then, I mean, if that doesn't start a larger conflict, really nothing else would. And in this new episode of The Compound on YouTube with Tom Lee, I highly recommend you guys listen to this. It's about an hour and a half if you take a car ride or something. I think it provides a lot of great insight to markets, and I think overall is just a good video. Tom Lee says his number one concern he gets from clients is geopolitical risks. So this is something that can impact markets. But again, with that said, it didn't impact Tesla stock really at all on Friday. And investors are growing more optimistic and hopeful around the October 10th robotaxi event. And I think as long as this week's jobs report comes in good and some of the other data that we get is not bad, you are going to see more optimism, more hype start to build in Tesla stock. But remember, there's a fair amount of puts being bought for October 11th. So the day after the robotaxi event, Wall Street's expecting a sell-off by, a lot. If you look at these weekly premiums, 61.1 million for October 11th is by far a standout compared to 3.7 million or $4 million. Like, there's a clear sell-off anticipated after the robotaxi event. But that instinctively implies we probably rally into the robotaxi event as well. With that said, Tesla's short interest of free float is sitting at 2.77%. You have $19.59 billion currently sold short in Tesla stock, totaling 77.08 million shares. As I've expressed in other videos now, I do think Tesla is already experiencing a short squeeze, but it's a slow short squeeze. I think it will accelerate as we head into the robotaxi event on October 10th. And the higher Tesla goes, the more shorts start to cover, so on and so forth, like a typical squeeze. But if we get any good news between now and October 10th, that could really start to accelerate. If you take a look at the activity on Friday, you had 952,000 shares returned and 621,000 shares borrowed. That means on net, on Friday, you had 331,000 shares that were covered on. Option activity on Friday was massive as well. You had 156 different trades totaling $337.14 million with a positive order value of 81%. Volume on Friday was 63.63% calls, 36.37% puts. For the week ending October 11th, you still have volume of almost 66% calls and 34% puts. So people are unequivocally bullish on the robotaxi event. Sentiment over on StockTwits for Tesla surprisingly is bearish over this weekend at 36. Yesterday, it was neutral at 50. So I think a lot of this, again, is retail investors that are not in Tesla as much as they would want to be, and they're just watching the stock that continues to go higher. And some people are pissed off about that. It's typically why just buying and holding Tesla makes a lot of sense unless you have a plan, a course of action, okay? And I think more people are going to want to get in before the robotaxi event, even though at this point it's probably better to wait until after the event, unless you're just short-term buying now and selling before the event. You probably will see a sell the news event. That's my expectation, unless you get something that is just of massive scale, right? If Tesla really does confirm robotaxis are coming next year, for an example, that's going to be insanely positive for Tesla stock. And you probably wouldn't get a post, sell-off event after October 10th. But anything less than that, definitive guidance, you're going to get a sell the news event, especially if Tesla rallies into it. In my opinion, obviously that's just my opinion. That's not a definitive fact. And as you know, anything can happen, so come to your own conclusions. Now, message volume is normal at 45 today. Yesterday, it was normal at 52. Participation ratio today is high at 56. Google Trends data is starting to fall quite a bit for the Cybertruck, from 51 down to 42. The Model Y fell from 24 to 23. The Model 3 fell from 22 to 21. The Model S fell from 10 to 9. The Model X is still at 8. Now, at this time of the year, you would hope to start seeing Google Trends activity actually picking up, especially as we start October. That's typically when you see Google Trends activity start to pick up, and then Q4 tends to be the best quarter for Tesla historically. So we are heading into Q4. We would like to see some Google Trends data start to accelerate. Now, this is only for the United States, okay? We're seeing a lot of strength in China. Hopefully Europe can start to recover a bit as well. And the problem is we don't get a lot of data for the US right? As far as delivery numbers or whatnot. We get some, but it's just not enough to paint a whole picture. So we really don't know what's going on in the US, how strong or weak things are. Nonetheless, global inventory numbers would suggest things are pretty strong, that Tesla is actually starting to sell down inventory by quite a bit. I mean, inventory recently for the Model Y as of August 23rd was 7,800 globally. Now it's 5,200. The Model 3 was 6,500. Now it's 3,300. The Model X was 4,800. Now it's 3,300. The Model S was 3,700. Now it's 2,300 just from, late August. So you definitely seen what looks like demand pick up in the last couple of weeks, or slower production. It doesn't look like we've seen slower production, so it looks like we could be looking at just greater demand. But October 2nd, we're going to know that more definitively when we get the delivery numbers. Tesla continues to run about 4,000 different ads with Google. CNN's Fear and Greed Index shows this market is in greed territory, currently with a reading of 68. This was the last reading on Friday. On Thursday, you were at 71, so you're on the higher end scale of greed. Couple good days for markets, and you're going to be in extreme greed territory. Market momentum is greed. Stock price strength, extreme greed. Stock price breadth, extreme greed. Put and call options, extreme greed. Market volatility, neutral. Safe haven demand is fear. Junk bond demand in fear. So most of your indicators look pretty good for markets. The percent of stocks currently trading above their 50-day moving average on Friday hit 64.4%. At one point, it hit 67% and then came down towards the end of the day. But still, you had 2% of stocks break above their 50-day moving average on Friday. That's still a pretty good day. And on Friday, you really seen an outperformance of dividend stocks, of cyclical stocks, of small cap stocks. Even the equal weight S&P was up 0.36%, again compared with the 0.15% decline in the headline S&P. So you actually seen a bit of a broadening out on Friday. And as I explained in prior videos, Tesla on a technical basis looks really good. Now, I'm not going to break it down in this video. You're going to have to wait until next video, but we do have some pretty exciting things to share from the technicals, from the charts, and what's coming next for Tesla stock. So you guys stay tuned to the channel for that one, coming out at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. That's going to do it for this video. Hit the like button as well as subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. You guys have a great weekend, and I will see you in the next one.